Aquarius Collective, welcome. I'm Nikki, your local vegan tarotist, and we're going to do a reading for what's next in love. So, back in Aries right now. Aries is my van. She's my homie, my chariot. Could be dealing with a Cancer. So, could be waking up early. Could be feeling a little bit flustered. You could have a lot going on right now. But I'm in the energy of just kind of submitting to the process and going with the flow right now. Because anytime we try to fight the flow, let's be real, it never works out in our favor. So might as well just enjoy the ride, right? Seeing something with like a fair, maybe not an affair, because we don't condone that bullshit here. But you know, like a great love affair. So this could be some sort of like summer love or childhood love that's going to be, could be like a reconciliation. All right, I think we've got everything kind of back together. It's wild in here. Hey, can we not do that thing? Maybe you have misophonia, or just you could feel a little bit like there's a lot going on in your space. Could be your person, and maybe that's the delay with this connection. If there is a delay, let's see with the masculine what's going on. I'm also back on data, so I could go certain places to tap into the Wi-Fi for quicker uploading, but I do want to keep this reading. I don't want to shortchange you, Aquarius. Yeah, because we got some anxiety. But I want to make this reading manageable enough that it doesn't take all day to upload. So we have the 3. See, there. Usually I space the cards out. I don't think I've ever overlapped them like this. And so there's some sort of overlap, like this feeling of lack in the 5, as I say, in the 5D. So this could feel some sort of emotional instability, a bit of a 5 of Cups energy. You could be dealing with an earth sign or have strong earth placements. I mean, you are fixed air, so fixed energy is earth. And then we have the 3 of Cups. So it's like there could have been something with health, poor health, but the 6 of Pentacles is, it's like the 5 of Pentacles is overlapping the 6 of Pentacles. Now this can be someone who's not seeing their blessings because they're in this mindset, but what's overlapping the 5 of Pentacles is the 3 of Cups, which is celebration, unity with friends. It's a reason to play. So it's like this, whatever this perceived lack was, or if there was some sort of hit on your health, could be on your finances, but whatever this was that put you in this like feeling left out in the cold, 5 of Pentacles energy is, it's surrounded by a lot of love, support, and blessings. It's things coming into balance. It was part of your balance. Right, it's, okay, so I often compare it to surfing, even though I've never surfed. I used to tube. Like, I grew up in Florida, so there's a lot of jet skiing and tubing and swimming like an idiot with a bunch of alligators. What's wrong with me? But there was a fearlessness to it. It's like the more aware I got, it made me more wary. So there's something about it was perceived. It's imaginary. There are no real threats here. And with that comparison, for whatever reason, I'm telling you about my childhood. You know, it's like water everywhere and not a drop to drink. So there was like, you didn't see reasons to celebrate. You didn't see your blessings. There was fear here. That's what 5 is. But 5 is also the number of change. It's time to round this shit up to a 10, like simple math. It's close enough, you know? So there's some sort of gratitude that came out of that, and some sort of realization that was like, I'm not in harm's way. I'm actually doing okay. If you recovered from some sort of illness, you know, it could have been like, it was the blessing in disguise. If you hadn't been, you know, like with surfing, let's go back to that one. With surfing, it's like you don't really know how to surf until you fall off. You don't really know how to love until you've had your heart broken. You don't know how to appreciate your blessings until you've been in this place of lack. You don't appreciate your arms until you break one, you know? So maybe there was like a broken limb or something. This person is on crutches. But whatever this loss was, it was a perceived loss because it doesn't feel real. Ace of Cups. It's like if you were broke financially, it put you in a place where you had to become resourceful with the Seven of Pentacles. You had to create a Six of Pentacles. You had to create your blessings. So Magician energy, could be dealing with a Gemini, Virgo, Taurus. But it's what it was actually. And with the dove here, I'm getting like a message. There could have been some sort of message that you received. Could have been an email. Could have been, do people still send telegrams? But it could have been a letter in the mail, right? That like, oh, you're going to lose XYZ, or your finances are not doing great. Or it could have been some sort of message. I mean, maybe you were with somebody and they broke up with you through a message, or some sort of like really dishonorable type of ending. Like they didn't really honor the connection at all. And that's on them, you know, and maybe that made you question whether or not you were worthy of love. You thought like, is this love? Is this what love is? 7:07 on the clock there. Is this love? Because if it is, I don't want it. What is that? From The Hobbit, where she's like, oh gosh, Tauriel. You could be dealing with a Taurus, but Tauriel and I don't know, Keely and what's the other one? Keely and Feely. The brothers. Not as big a fan of the Hobbit movies. So. Because I actually cannot stand dwarfs. Like, I just don't like dwarfs. They're just like, no optimism, you know, like they're just annoying. Anyway, you could just be feeling annoyed by people. But she's like, if this is love, I don't want it, or whatever, you know, and it's like, but was it love? Because he was just kind of like a little whiny mama's boy. He the, you know, he tries to save her and he gets hurt, you know. I don't know. Just like he's cute or whatever. Isn't he in Poldark? I've never seen Poldark. I don't even know the premise of it, but maybe Poldark or something. Or that actor, whoever plays him, maybe his zodiac sign is important, or maybe that storyline is important, or maybe you love the Hobbits. Maybe you prefer them and you're like, bitch. But we have the Eight of Wands, which is like paving a new path. And this also gives me a masculine that is coming in to actually fight for you. You know, and it could be a friend. It could be somebody that's, again, just been there all along. Like Legolas. I mean, look, these are like his, like, why wouldn't you want Legolas? Why would you want that little guy? Because what? He showed you attention? I don't know. He was just like a mama's boy. Oh, I got Aquarius here. I was going to say with the store. I was saying, maybe that's you, masculines. Maybe you're a mama's boy. I don't know. No, I think that's what feminines you've been dealing with. Maybe someone who drank a lot or went out a lot. It's like they never really communicated. So the past energy with your love life feels pretty not great. Yeah, it was like competitive, childish games. We have the Magician here and Temperance. So that's Sagittarius, Gemini, Virgo, Taurus, and then we have the Star. So you're showing up in your own reading here. But it's like, we're going from that Three of Cups. I think that Three of Cups possibly put you in that Five of Pentacles because you were with somebody. Masculines, you may have dealt with feminines who were not very nurturing, right? And this is also like friends. So I do feel like there's someone in your friend group that's like been a solid person all along. And maybe masculines, maybe you entertained lower vibrational feminines, and then that put you in a lack place, and you were like, I don't want that. I want something solid. I want a partnership. I want to be with my romantic best friend. So there was this big roundabout. Yeah, I do feel like there is something returning here. Could be a Taurus. We got the Hierophant, and there's the Eight of Wands again. So it's like you both are paving your way to each other. I think that's what I'm going to title this, if I can remember it. I can never remember what I'm like, yeah, that's the best title ever. Knight of Wands. Yeah, this is fast. The Lovers, the Hierophant, and the Page of Cups. Could be an age difference between you and your person. Feminines, you could be dealing with a younger fire sign or water sign. Someone that's coming in with a lot of passion and emotion. Maybe that was the concern, is because if there is an age difference, you might be like, oh, is this just like a little mama's boy? It's like, no, I think you can trust me, there are mama's boys and lower vibrational feminines that are of all kinds of ages, right? Like, this is a King of Pentacles. You're dealing with someone who's very solid. This masculine energy, more Taurus energy, could be dealing with a masculine earth sign. But feminines, I feel like, yeah, we've got the Three of Pentacles. You both want this Three of Pentacles. You want to collaborate. You want to come together. You want an actual partner. Someone who's a friend. Someone who's not competitive. That very famous, maybe the most famous poem about love. Love is patient. Love is kind. It is not boastful. I don't know the whole thing, but there's a bunch of stuff in there that's really good. That basically talks about unconditional love. Yeah, we've got the Ace of Pentacles. So there's the Ace of Pentacles coming in because feminines, you've been in this very hyper independent energy. I feel like you have somebody who's going to, like, you've taken care of all of your partners before. You've got a masculine that's coming in very strong, regardless of age, regardless of distance, regardless of differences, any differences. This masculine is someone who's going to come in with this Knight of Wands. They're going to fight for you. Like, you are like a passion project for them. And that might sound, you might be like, I don't want to be someone's passion project, warrior woman. You're very hyper independent feminines, which Thunderbird, maybe somebody drives a Thunderbird, or maybe somebody collects cars or really is into like, would a Thunderbird be considered like a classic car or like a muscle car? I don't know, maybe somebody likes muscle cars or classic cars. Or that could be, yeah, the age difference. Maybe you're attracting maybe you dealt with younger masculines emotionally, spiritually, or I was gonna say tangibly, but maybe and that gives me also with like this like pleather or leather. I'm gonna say pleather because this is a vegan channel. That pleather mask, that latex mask. Maybe you're allergic to latex. It is, I think, the most common allergy. But there's something about, like, you were always the dominant one, feminines. You're always the dominant one, and now you've got somebody who's coming in who knows your value, knows their value. And look at his big old arms. This could be someone who's quite stocky and muscular. But yeah, I get this, like, someone being very just tired of dealing with people where they have to run the show. Feminines are not supposed to lead in 3D. They are designed to, destined, this is destiny here, they are designed to guide in the 5D. Masculines lead in the 3D. It is active energy in the 3D. It is passive energy in the 5D. And that is not passive like weak or passive aggressive, none of that. Passive is allowing. It is faith-based. You receive information, you receive offers, you receive opportunities, you receive love. That does not mean you do not give love, right? But it means that you reciprocate what you receive as a feminine. And you've dealt with a lot of masculines who did not reciprocate, or did not offer much, so you would reciprocate that. That's a very Aquarian trait. And I think maybe you were called a lot of things, or considered to be someone who was not ready for love. And you're like, I actually am ready for love. Maiden of Shields. This is the Queen of Pentacles. So, yeah. And the Warrior of Vessels, that's the Knight of Cups. The Horse Thief. That's 7 of... Are those wands? Or those are hatchets. Is it the 7 of Swords? Oh, okay, so that's someone who's holding a grudge. Yeah, a lot of people may consider either of you, right? Aquarius gets this a lot, particularly the feminines, where you're considered cold, you're considered ice queen. Like, people think you're the ice queen, Queen of Swords. But no, and if you're you might be dealing with a feminine earth sign masculines. We have a ton of earth here, so there's a lot of fixed energy here. So you could be dealing with a fellow fixed sign, someone who understands you and the way that you are. You're all in or you're all out. You don't play that shit. Yeah, vessels. We got the Ace of Cups twice here. That's the song. So baby, if you want me, you got to show me love. And another song from that era is Shawty Swing My Way, sure look good to me, now would you please swing my way. Yeah, I think the feminine pursued masculines in the past because they were wanting love, but they fell for potential. That's very common. It happens. And this is Sand Painter, the 8 of Pentacles. This is somebody, yeah, both of you went within to change these cycles. And these look like little dream catchers as well, these shields. So it's like there's a lot of dream work here, Piscean energy, third eye chakra. It's like, this isn't it. Whatever this pattern was, the Trapper. Yeah, I think it's actually the 2 of Wands, which is a choice to move forward. So you could be moving, you could be traveling. This person could be traveling to you, but this is a feminine who's finally saying, you know what, I'm going to let the masculine do their job, do their destined job, which is to pursue me. And a divine masculine's okay with that, because a divine masculine knows that that is their job. They understand the assignment, and they don't want to be pursued by a feminine. So feminines, that is your calling to relinquish the idea of control, and come into a more passive place. Now, maybe you do something with like physical fitness or physical therapy, or you do something in therapy or healing. You're a healer. Something in the medical field possibly, but I get this sense that you are struggling with that because you are maybe a caretaker, a natural fixer and healer. Well, a healer is meant to, they are supposed to, right? There are a lot of ways to heal, but in any of those ways, they are meant to represent their modes of healing and just stand as a mirror. That's the best healer, is to just stand as a mirror to reflect other people's own way of healing. They develop their own way of healing, but it's like by you setting an example, by you just holding that space, that's the best thing you can do. I was gonna say, walk softly, carry a big stick. So it's also like being quietly and patiently waiting. And I know that might sound like it's like, sit down, shut up, be humble, Kendrick Lamar. But it's, when you are pursuing other masculines, I think that because you are possibly someone who's a chameleon masculines, this could be your history as well. Maybe you were in a more feminine energy. And so it's like you both are coming into your proper energy, a balanced energy. You had to fall off. You had to have experiences that showed you the way that you were approaching love was ineffective. And it put you in this Five of Pentacles place. But it's more like that line from the song Humble by Kendrick Lamar, where he's like, show me something natural, like afro roll on Richard Pryor. Show me something natural like ass with some stretch marks. Still will take you down on your mama's couch with polo socks or something like that. I love that line, because it's like, maybe you masculines with all the pentacles, maybe you thought, oh, if I have money, these feminines will like me, these feminines will give me that nurturing that I never got. There could be an issue with the mother, and maybe that's why this masculine is like had to like develop a new, they had to put on different glasses. These glasses were super dirty. I couldn't get them to, like, they're still like super smudged, and I've wiped them. I don't know, it's crazy. But it's like those rose-colored glasses, they weren't even rose-colored, right? They were just like red. It was like red flag. Yeah, because we see this red triangle here with the sand painter. So there's some sort of like caution, there's some sort of yielding. Whatever cycle, 8 is the number of cycles, whatever cycle that you were in was not something that was catering to you. And feminines, I feel like you catered to a bunch of masculines, or maybe just one or two. You know your life. But it just felt like, oh my gosh, this cycle's never gonna end. And I continue to like go around and around and around. I'm the snake light, maybe something with the year of the snake. That is this year, it is coming to an end. You could be the year of the snake. Snake is also the Native American zodiac, and we're in the Native American tarot deck, the Native American zodiac for Scorpio. So that's all about death and rebirth, letting things, pass away, letting things end, letting things rest. And see, they're drawing this in the sand. The writings in the sand. SOS message. Help! You felt like you were on an island for a long time. The letter X, you could be seeing X's as a sign, but it's like the XX. So maybe you're not your last ex, but the person you dealt with before that, right? There's something about this cycle has never been reciprocated. And there's this triangle. So the sand painter, the triangles. Yeah, you were probably in love triangles. You were catering, you were pouring yourself into somebody else, to a lot of somebody else's. And it ended up depleting you to the point that you had to go work on, what do I want the next cycle to look like, right? You could have just had a birthday, like 20, 30, 40, right? It's like every decade usually, but this could have been any birthday, but it felt like a landmarker, where it was like, I don't want the next 10 years to look like this. I'm transforming this, and you could be a life path 10, right? But 10 is the number of endings, so it's like, I want the next chunk of the next relationship, the next whatever, to look completely different. And so in order to have the things that you're attracting into your life look different, you have to look different. So I think that you did a lot of work on your health, your wealth. You focused on, how am I going to make my money? How am I going to support myself? Maybe you relied on other people, but maybe all that they provided was money. They didn't provide any actual stability. They didn't really nurture that earth aspect, that fixed aspect of needing commitment, of needing dedication, longevity, security. So I feel like you both are, you've worked on that and you're doing really well in your personal, individual lives, but you want love with the Ace of Cups. It's like the Warrior of Vessels, they're kind of like looking out and going, and maybe like birds are signs for you, Aries energy. It's air energy, but Aries, because I'm getting the hawk, and that's the Native American zodiac for Aries. Also other birds of prey. Sagittarius is the owl. You might be seeing geese, which is Capricorn energy. So it's like whatever signs you're getting, you might keep seeing a certain sign, and you get some feeling, you get a little inkling that like this means something, but I'm not sure what it means. Google it, look into it, or sit with it, and ask the divine, what does this mean? Because signs and synchronicities mean different things to different people. Some people see a black cat and they go, oh shit, that's not good. I see a black cat and I'm like, some sort of like past life Egyptian ancestry. There's something in there where I'm just like, cats mean protection. And in all the horror movies, it's like the movie Ghost. So you could be dealing with a Leo. Oh gosh, I don't know what Demi Moore's sign is. I've looked it up and I know what it is, and now I can't remember. But she's kind of a badass. And I am getting dark-haired feminines in several of these images. So your feminine could have dark hair. But anyway, in that, where was I going with that? Oh, with the cat. He pulls the cat out, or he scares the cat and it scratches the bad guy's face. It's like the cats are protection, but in that scene, it's like from the beyond, it's like your person is sending you. You might refer to your person as like a ghost, or they feel like they're an angel or some sort of unseen entity around you. They're not tangible, because I was getting that like that touching tangibility. It's like you're trying to call it into the tangible. You could be doing spell work, right? Meditating, really like doing a lot of spell work to call this person in. Now, if we do spell work on a particular person, that's not okay. That's black magic. All right. All we can do is spell work on ourselves, and that shifts the environment. We can do spell work on a frequency. That's it. That's the only way to do light work. Okay, you can't do it for anybody else. You can't fix anybody else. And I think that people-pleasing fixer mentality was something that was very hard for you to break, but you did. This is two people who have broken that cycle. All right, and two people coming together. This is the Two of Cups. There's that Two of Wands. Somebody's making a decision to come towards you. Let them. So with that medical stuff, what I was getting to kind of help with that word passive, because I do feel like that feels like a weakness to some of this collective that's listening, is like passive. They don't like that. There's something about that word that's sticky. So in like physical therapy, when you're stretching somebody, right? So this is people who are, and maybe you've done this, people who are in hospice, people who are in physical therapy for intensive care, they're healing, they're recovering, right? You help them, or people who are like in a coma on bed rest, they can't move their limbs. This is like the person, and that gives me the marriage in sickness and in health, that commitment, that true vow of like, if you can't move your legs, I'll move them for you so they won't atrophy, right? So there's passive stretching and there's active stretching. Whenever somebody is doing their assessment, it's like, oh, can you lift your arm to here? And most people are like, if they're injured, they have an injury, they're like, oh, this is as far as I can go. So then the physical therapist will say, okay, well, I'm going to just Now tell me. And it's like with that little bit of help. And I also get like, that's considered passive stretching. That's what it's called. It's not considered, that's what it is. But I've gotten consider a number of times in this reading, so I feel like this person's gonna be very considerate, compassionate, and there's like this, they are in equal parts to you. It's very reciprocal. This person's very balanced with you in that, like, they're your ride or die. If you need help, I'm gonna help you. And I do feel like this person's gonna help push you a little bit beyond your comfort zone. So that might feel like a little bit of a threat initially, but it's what you asked for. You wanted someone to help. Someone's gonna be here to help. Will you be able to accept the help? I don't know. We have so much earth energy here with the brown, maybe listening to brown noise, earth, planting seeds, literal, or the soil. And that's probably the closest to red of the colors that I have. So that's like the root chakra. That's more Capricorn energy with that root chakra. It's all about releasing. There's a bit of a shock factor here too, but it's a good shock, right? It's like an acclamation. I'm getting maybe Pisces with the fish, like whenever you, I was gonna say transplant or transpot because I'm thinking plants, but with the fish or with plants, whenever you go to pot them or bring them into a larger aquarium, it's like you're giving them more space to grow. But if you don't do it very passively, if you don't help them along the way, and if there's no patience involved, like you need to put the bag in the other water so that they can acclimate to the I'm just thinking about, because I am getting like a fair or festival or something. It's the time of year for that, so that could play a role somewhere in there. I keep getting like the like a Ferris wheel, also like the wheel, the medicine wheel, the wheel of fortune. It is like divine timing. Something is coming around. The Notebook, where he like pulls her out of a date, hanging there like this. There's something quite intense about this connection and about this person, I think, that's going to be a little bit triggering. You're like, no, and maybe you say no initially. Maybe you said no when you first knew each other, right? 32, 34. But now at this point in your life, it's like this connection makes sense. This could be brand new, and that sense of, I want to run, but you're healed, so you know you're not going to run. You recognize your shadows. You recognize your tendency to sabotage possibly, and you're noting that, and you're going, okay, but I wanted this. This is healthy. This is going to help me heal. This is going to help me grow beyond the work that I've done on my own, right? Because we can only heal or grow to a certain place, and then we get to, what is going on with the lens there? Can you guys see that? It looks like it's like, yeah, something with the dreams. That's the third eye awakening. The Hermit. This person's going to bring you out of your comfort zone. I can show you the world. With the world here. Shining. It's like, do you trust me? And she's like, yes. There's a little bit of a reluctance in maybe the feminine side. I am going to pull, I just got these little Scrabble cards at the thrift shop. So I'm going to see, EM. Okay, and it fell down who knows where. That could be like the Fool. EM. Maybe Emily, maybe the letters E, M. I don't know. That one didn't like it, so SW. R, we got S again, but this one is with E, so it's SERPFR. Okay, because it's both sides. So one side is S, one side is E. I was wondering why it did that. Why they were with different ones. I don't know, maybe you play Scrabble or board games, or you will with this person, but I get like the 10 of Pentacles, which is growing old together. Since you have so many pentacles in this reading, I really feel like that is the inevitability of this connection for sure, is that you're going to grow old together. This is your home. A home for everything in its place. There might be some concern if you've been in that hermit mode and you've been single for a long time, maybe you've been living by yourself. It's like, oh gosh, I wanted this love. I want this love, but there are adjustments. There are some maybe very triggering. I don't want to say triggering because it doesn't feel that severe, because I feel like you were triggered in the past because you were dealing with people who were trigger happy, right? They knew what, they knew how to push your buttons. They knew how to get that out of you. They wanted you to be jealous. I don't think you're a jealous person. I don't think you're a reactive person. I think you were surrounding yourself with those people and putting yourself in those environments so that you could learn that I'm not actually that person, or that's not what I want. That's something that was learned, I think, from your childhood, right? It always is something from there. That damn childhood will get you every time. But it was some sort of unlearning. Like, I'm not actually a jealous person. I'm not actually this or that. So if you start feeling those lower vibrations, it's like, it's not a good vibration. Feel it. It's actually an indicator that you're not in the right place. Because when you're in the right place, you express yourself. You are who you are. With this person, I get like Moses in the burning bush. I am that I am. And I was getting that, like, you adjusted yourself. It's like you almost maybe changed your look. Like maybe you were with a skater, so you took up skating when you were in high school. You were with a goth, so you started painting your nails black and listening to a lot of really sad music, and it's like none of those things are you. So in your solitude, in this time that you've been really working on yourself, you've actually developed into who you've always been, who your truest form, your inner child, your truest, the root of who you are, the root of the root, the bud of the bud. I carry your heart. I carry it in my heart. Maybe George Strait, Carrying Your Love With Me, country music. May 18th, he's my birthday twin, so that's why I know that. But the song Carrying Your Love With Me, maybe you carry some sort of trinket or something that represents your person. I feel like you're pulling them out of the ethers. So if this isn't some past love, it's a past life love, and it's going to feel very much like home, where you can just be yourself completely, and you don't have to put on a face, you don't have to play a part. This is your person, so you just be yourself. Just be yourself. More Aladdin. Maybe you're a person, or maybe there's a great distance. You could be from India. I mean, we have the Native Americans, so it's, Indian. You never know what the right term is. I feel like that would be more offensive. So I don't know. There's something with that, possibly. Or maybe you get misnomenclatured a lot. Maybe people don't know what you are. There could be something very exotic about this person's culture or appearance. But whatever that difference is, it's actually very much the same. It's like maybe with the Egyptian thing, maybe you've always felt called to Egypt and this person is from Egypt. Or maybe they're doing work in Egypt. They could be doing some sort of like outreach in Africa, and maybe you've always loved African music or African architecture. It's like they're the textiles, right? That is very Taurus. That is fixed energy, earth energy is very sensual. It likes things of the earth. It likes getting dirt under its fingers. So yeah, there's maybe some things in there. I don't know. I felt like there was a lot of random things, but hopefully there was something in here for you that makes sense and gives you some sort of confirmation, clarity, hope for this. Because it's like with all the pentacles, especially as a fixed earth sign and you being a fixed sign, Aquarius, I know that that is going to really speak to your truest nature, to be with somebody, to call in somebody and spend time with somebody. Somebody could be calling you on the phone. And again, that might come as a little bit of a shock, like, oh my gosh, this person from my past, or oh my gosh, how did they find me? You know, they found you because you're like, come find me, Marco Polo. Maybe the name Mark, but it's like Marco Polo. And with the horse thief, the polo. Anyway, I feel like I'll continue channeling information in there. So we'll get the rest of that next time. I'm gonna go back to doing the collective divine feminine, divine masculine readings, and doing the. I will be posting an update about that. I'm going to be doing the individual zodiac signs on Instagram because I'm back to data, so I need to do those individual readings, shorter doses. But anyway, yes, I hope there was something in here for you, Aquarius, and until next time, I wish you well.